All right, let's hit the field.
All right.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Today is Saturday, July 13th, and the Yankees were trying to make it 2 in a row against the Orioles behind Luis Gil and the big bat of Austin Wells. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium,
New York City.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back, kid.
All right. I made a very important adjustment today, Terrence. I broke out the AirPods instead of the overhead studio earphones just so that we could wear the fun hat, because that is our first series win in over a month, and we are now tied once again with the Orioles for first place. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to Terrence Kim, Mr. TK, here to talk about Game 2 of this very big series between the Yankees and the Orioles. TK, how you doing, man?
Doing better now, playing way better. Huge series heading into the All-Star break. So glad that they could win the series. Let's hope they get the sweep tomorrow.
Yeah, Junior Caroma says we are so back. I hope so, man. That would be great. I wonder if yesterday's bullshit from Brendan Hyde kind of woke up the sleeping giant. I mentioned that on Twitter before the game. And then big 3-run home run in the first inning for Austin Wells. Yankees jumped out to a 4-0 lead. Back-to-back home runs for Soto and Aaron Judge. Gleyber Torres had a 3-hit game. Another really effective outing from Luis Gil, who we'll talk about in just a second. And finally, the Yankees win a series. How are you feeling about things overall?
This to me seems like the May Yankees. We talked a little bit about that in the green room before the show, but Gil looked like Luis Gil from the first 2 months. The offense looked like the team for the first 2 months. So yeah, maybe the brawl was kind of like how Judge was really struggling and then he got tossed and then it kind of woke him up.
You tweeted to me, or you messaged me that day and you said there's going to be stats before and after the ejection, and now I see it everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So now maybe there'll be stats like the Yankees are 20-5 since the Orioles brawler or something crazy like that. So keep an eye on that, I think. But yeah, I definitely feel much better about if this is the team we get. Look, still some moves to be made at the deadline. Definitely still some holes that need to be addressed. That's obvious, and I do think that they're going to do it. I mean, they got to go all in, right, with Soto. But if they can play like this, and if Gil can pitch like this, I mean, I think that you make some reinforcements, bring in some guys, and they'll be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, so let's talk about Luis Gil, because he was much better today. Definitely much better than his last outing against the Orioles. 2 good starts in a row for him. That's 12 innings, or 12 2/3 innings over his last 2 starts with just 2 runs allowed. Put a couple of runners on early, worked out of it. But just like his previous outing, he was throwing more off-speed stuff, more sliders. The slider was filthy today. I mean, the slider was breaking like 2 feet today. Just absolutely nasty. What did you see from Luis Gil?
I think we see Matt Blake's tutelage even more. I mean, that guy's just a guru. I really think he can fix anybody, even if a guy is struggling. But the slider, I like that he used it a lot more, because the way the ball comes out of his hand with his arm slot, that's definitely a pitch that can be really devastating for him. And the slider looked like he was breaking differently today. I think they mentioned this on the broadcast, but he probably changed his grip on it a little bit. It was almost like a slider kind of cutter hybrid, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I kind of got that sense. And the fastball just exploding out of his hand. He had that life on it like he did in the early on in the season. So overall, the composure was there too. I mean, the 1 run, that's whatever. I mean, Verdugo, tough play to make at the wall. Actually, with the old Camden Yards, instead of them putting the Great Wall of Baltimore out there, that's probably a home run. So they kind of just like bit themselves in the ass there, but like they ended up getting the run anyway, right? But yeah, he looked great. They still don't really seem to have like a pitch limit on him or an innings limit on him this year. I think they're just gonna kind of ride it. But I mean, we're just gonna have to see what kind of arms they get at the deadline, and maybe they'll surprise us.
Yeah, you see the velocity today was good. 100.6 miles an hour was the top speed on the fastball. He also had a 99.9. That would piss me off if I threw a 99.9 and didn't get to 100 on that. 99.8, 99.6. So a ton of, 99 plus mile an hour fastballs. He had 15 swings and misses, and just a really phenomenal performance. We got to talk about something else that we heard about before the game. Jazz Chisholm is moving back to second base for the Marlins, at least taking some reps over there, which is interesting because obviously the Yankees are hunting for a Gleyber Torres replacement. As soon as that news breaks, Gleyber Torres, of course, gets 3 hits. But this feels like a personal request from Brian Cashman. Let's see what he looks like over at second base before we empty out the farm for him. They're not going to empty out the farm for him anyway.
No, but Derek, I just kind of want to take a little bit of credit here. I feel like I've started a movement. Is that just me? But I feel like no one was talking about it. I mentioned it, and then I started seeing more people on in Yankee land talk about it, and now we're getting reports that the Yankees front office has discussed it internally. And yeah, this definitely feels not even for the Yankees, but the Marlins want to get the most for him, right? So in order to do that, they have to open up his suitors, and why wouldn't they put him at second? It shows some versatility, and good for Torres for having a good game that makes him more tradable. So yeah, I definitely think it's sort of a hey, look at what this guy can do. I wanted Arias, but they decided to trade him to the Padres 1 month into the season, and that would have been a better fit. But look, he's off the market. But I'd be very happy with Jazz Chisholm. I've said that before. His defense, I think he's a better second baseman than an outfielder, honestly. But he's not a plus defender. But Gleyber's got the most errors in the league. So really, what are you sacrificing there? We talked about this though, but why not play Vivas? They called him up. I mean, just see what the kid has. Also, you'd be auditioning him for other clubs if you want to trade him too. So it's kind of a win-win situation there. I don't know why they wouldn't be playing him.
Yeah, to me, that's kind of an egregious mistake. That's a bad way to treat a young kid when you call him. They did the same thing with Oswald Peraza a couple of years back. Really, every time he's come up, he's kind of sat. And right now you've got DJ LeMahieu, who is not hitting at all. We're seeing calls for him to retire, just bad performances pretty much every day. And, injury after injury over the last few years. I would rather see DJ go back into being that utility role who can, come in and play defense at third base, at first base, at second base late in the game. And let's give some of the at-bats during the primary portion of the game to somebody who actually might do something with them, like, Vivas.
Yeah, I really feel like this isn't the year to be stroking guys' egos because they're veteran players with big contracts. You have Juan Soto for 1 guaranteed year at this moment. And I hope we re-sign him, but we'll see. But we have him for 1 guaranteed year. You need to do everything to win the World Series this year. And if that means that Ben Rice is playing better than Anthony Rizzo, then Ben Rice gets the playing time. I don't care that he makes the league minimum, and I don't care that Rizzo's, what is he making, 18 mil right now? Yeah. Absolutely. Also, Darth Darthius, thank you. I'd love to be general manager of the Yankees, but yeah, that's a cool name too. But yeah, I definitely think that this is the year to not mess around with egos. You gotta win at all costs, and that means putting the best players on the field. So again, with Vivas, you don't know what you have. I know what JD Davis is at the major league level. I don't know what Ben Rice is. I don't know what Vivas is. Play these guys. I hate that. Something about the Yankees that really gets on my nerves is that they let their prospects rot so much. They did it to Peraza. They did it to Frazier. They did it to Andujar. And if you don't think these guys are a fit on the team right now, then trade them. Trade them for something that you need.
Yeah. Well, Rice actually went 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts, so he's down to 230, but the OPS still 795 because he hits for power and he walks. So he's at least doing something. Just a reminder to everybody who's watching, the Yankees play tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. It's on Roku. It's an app. There's also Roku TVs. I haven't looked into exactly how I'm going to find it yet. There's 19 different apps that we need every year. Peacock, Apple TV, yes, MLB TV, freaking watch ESPN, today FS1. I think there's even a game on HBO Max at some point. It's come on. Can we just put the games on cable? Ridiculous.
What are we doing?
Are you trying to grow the green game or not? This, I see all these articles and all of these, talking heads why is baseball popularity diminishing? Why aren't people watching the game? Maybe it's because you make it impossible to watch the games. That could be why. Just a thought.
Yeah, and I have MLB TV because I have T-Mobile, so you get it for free. So all my T-Mobile people out there, you get it for free if you didn't know that. There was a guy I'm colleagues with who didn't know that, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Is it going to be blacked out on MLB TV? Because sometimes they'll carry it even if it's on like a different
I don't
channel.
know. I've never seen one on Roku before, so I don't know what the situation is going to be. Bob Clappish
Okay.
just the radio off. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Stream East, guys. Stream East. It's like a super illegal streaming game site, but that's
Well,
where you're
let's
gonna
maybe
find
not promote illegal stuff on the stream. Okay. All right, let's move on to the recap here before Terrence gets me fucking canceled. So the Yankees took the lead in the first inning, RBI single from Gleyber Torres, and then a very, very impressive swing from now the suddenly hot Austin Wells with the mustache ride.
With the mustache ride.
Absolutely jacked. I thought for a second that it hit the warehouse, but it only went 397 feet. But absolute blast off the bat. Call me crazy, but I think he's going to take control of the catching job while Jose Trevino's out. Quad injury. If you got to figure for a catcher, a quad injury could be a while, but he's heating up offensively, and now he's going to get some playing time, assuming the All-Star break doesn't mess up his rhythm.
No, absolutely. I mean, why would you not keep playing Wells? Also, Wells is the younger player. That's more likely to be the future of the team right now at this moment. Is Trevino possibly a free agent after this year? I think he might be.
I'm not sure. Let me double check.
But just while you're looking that up, I know that Ben Rice is really a catcher. He's not a first baseman. So it may be the case where, look, Trevino plays platinum glove defense back there, and he has a pretty good bat. It's solid. He goes cold sometimes, but he doesn't really have an arm. But I wonder if they would go in the direction of having Rice and Wells as the catching tandem. But
I don't think so.
not.
I think they want to leave Rice at first base and let him hit and maximize his bat potential. It looks like Jose Trevino has one more year of arbitration eligibility for 2025, and then he's an unrestricted free agent after the 2026 season. So, or
I mean
after the 2025 season.
I'm saying more so in the future where they want to move Judge to first when his days in the outfield are done, and then they'll put Rice back at catcher. But I don't know. That might be a little messy if they want to do it that way.
Yeah, I think it's all going to depend on what Rice does over these next even several weeks. Like, if he proves that he can hit and he's a viable middle-of-the-order lefty bat, you're going to want to keep it in there as often as possible. So,
Yeah.
Volpe made a really nice defensive play in the bottom of the first. Luis Gil kind of pitched into and out of trouble, but you could tell that the gas was there today, and he was throwing more sliders. Judge doubled in the top of the third, but got stranded. Ryan O'Hearn tripled to lead off the third inning. Nice effort by Verdugo, slamming into the wall to make the catch. Sacrificed his body, man. I'm surprised he didn't knock his ass out.
Yeah.
He went into that wall hard, man.
His sunglasses after. Did you see that?
Yeah. And he still made a pretty good throw, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he's out of the lineup tomorrow because he's going to be sore. Like, that's one of those things that in the moment, you don't really notice it. And then the next day, like, your whole body's sore because you're running full speed into that wall. And people don't realize that behind that wall, there's, like, concrete. There's like, a little bit of padding. But you notice the wall doesn't, like, give at all because behind there's a layer of concrete. So, yeah. O'Hearn scored on a ground out. Top five, Juan Soto got the run right back.
There it goes. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Home run for Juan Soto.
Nice piece of hitting. Center field, 426 feet. You see the exit velocity of 112.6. Just an absolute line drive, 23rd home run of the season. Hand is okay when he makes contact. Next batter was Mr. Aaron Judge.
It's another home run for Judge. All right. Here comes the Judge.
Back to back and a belly to belly. Dead center field. He beat Juan Soto's distance by 5 feet. This one went 431 feet. So really nice job from Soto and Aaron Judge. And TK, we're going to have Soto and Judge versus Paul Skeens in the All-Star game. How do you think they'll do?
Oh, man, that guy is electric. They have Gunnar Henderson leading off, I think. So it's like
Probably. I haven't seen
yeah.
the lineup yet, but I would guess he hits leadoff
I'm
most of the
assuming
time.
it's going to be Henderson, Soto, Judge, which makes me sad because we could have had Gunnar Henderson, and that could have been the Yankees' top 3. But it's besides the point. I think that I'm going to probably go with a walk and a strikeout because they've never seen him. They've never faced him. And don't underestimate Paul Skeens. This guy is a dude who throws 102, 103 miles an hour. He can like get it up there and throws a 95-mile-an-hour like sinker splitter that they call a splinker. I don't think anybody's really seen anything like this. The guy is just unbelievable. And yeah, he deserves the start as the National League starter. Call me crazy. I already think he's a top 5 pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, I mean he's 6-0. He's got like a 1.90 ERA, something like that. Yeah, I mean
it's in the ones. It's in the ones.
Yeah, and he's striking out, pretty much more than a hitter per inning. The control has been really good. I think he gave up a couple of home runs early on, but like you said, still undefeated. He's off to one of those Tanaka level starts. Yeah, like a few years back, it was Tanaka. I think he went like 11-1 with a 1.99 ERA to start his major league career with the Yankees, and then he got that elbow thing, and he was never quite as dominant as that after that, but still fantastic.
I mean, similarly, I would say the one thing about him would be health, just because of how hard he throws. But he's 6'6", 235. The guy's just a horse, so I don't know.
Luis Gil was done after 6 innings and 95 pitches. Final line, deja vu from Garrett Cole's start yesterday. 5 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He's got the ERA down to 3.17. Really nice job. That's win number 10. Tim Hill was also really good today. DJ LeMahieu had another bad game while Yorbit Vivas sat the bench. We talked about that. LeMahieu down to 498 with the OPS. There's no way that Vivas can be much worse than that. Cousins closed it out, and the Yankees hang on to win their first series in quite a while.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win. You're a winner.
All right. So now we got to decide the belt here. So we got some good candidates. We had Austin Wells with the 3-run home run. Torres, 3 for 4. We had Judge, double and a home run. Soto, double and a home run. Yankees win the series. What are your thoughts on the belt for today?
I think we got to go with Luis Gil.
All right. That is belt number 8 for Luis Gil as he continues to have a solid rookie year. So, what are your thoughts on what they're going to do with him down the stretch? You still think he's possibly going to the bullpen? You think maybe they're going to, get him some rest or what? Are they just going to leave him in the rotation?
I think they probably have. We're going to see. They got all those like spot track and like super slow-mo cams, and they can see if his arm slot drops a little bit or if he's not getting the RPMs he normally does. I think they're just going to closely monitor him for some wear and tear, and if he starts to kind of get tired, I guess. But I think if he doesn't show any signs of stopping, they'll just keep riding him. Maybe they start cutting his starts a little shorter as the season goes on, like in late August, early September. And then maybe they give him like a start off or something like that. But I want to keep him in the routine that he's in as a starter. When you're a bullpen guy, it's a little bit more random, a little bit more erratic. You don't really have like a set schedule. So I like the fact that he has that routine and he just kind of gets into the groove of things. So all I think they'll probably do is they'll very closely monitor. They may skip a start in late August, early September, depending on how he feels. And they may cut his starts a little bit shorter and make sure he's ready to go for the playoffs.
Jay Apollo says, can Rodon not be road trash tomorrow? Man, we absolutely need a big start from Rodon, man.
Yeah,
We've had
man.
some comparisons lately that I found very interesting. Somebody compared him to Kevin Brown back in '04. Very similar type of pitcher with like really good stuff, but just couldn't control himself emotionally. Ended up punching the wall and breaking his hand late in the season back in '04. Just, total head case. We really need Rodon to get through the first inning unscathed, because lately it's like once he gets past the first or second inning, he starts to settle down, mix his pitches well, and he's been okay. But it's the first inning. He's got an ERA of about 10. I mean, you just can't have that.
Yeah, you know what's funny with him is that he throws the fastball. He has that cutter that he brings out sometimes, and like the slider. He's like fastball slider. This is probably going to be an off-season thing because I want him to learn a new pitch. He has to learn a 12-6 curveball because of the way his arm slot is and how on top of the ball he is. If he learns a 12-6 coming off the heater that kind of rides the zone high, and then he has that 12-6 that just does this, he'll have way more success. I don't know why he doesn't throw that pitch. He has the perfect mechanic for it. And the way that his arm comes out, it's not that hard to like turn your hand from, I'm doing a lefty right now, but turn your hand from this to this. If he does that, I really think that would be effective for him. Because he has good stuff, and he is that like bulldog kind of guy out on the mound, a little bit like Stroman, a little bit like Cole. And I think that he is like made for New York. He just hasn't had the success that they've hope that he's had. Obviously last year battling injuries, I kind of leave that as like a mulligan, unfortunate kind of thing. But hopefully this contract ends up being okay, because I mean Cashman, other than Garrett Cole in free agency with pitchers, hasn't been super lucky. I mean Tanaka, I think injuries, very solid. Tanaka probably didn't reach what we thought he would because of injuries, but a very solid contract. But other than like Cole, I mean, really, was there another free agency pitcher or even a pitcher they acquired via trade that's really come into New York and been like really effective?
It's been a while, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. That you've got a great point. I can't think of a lot of free agents who the Yankees have picked up that have lived up to the contract. Now, in terms of position players, there have been a few. Matsui worked out great. World Series MVP, super solid, but that was a long time ago. I'm trying to think of, last few years. Teixeira wasn't bad. End of the contract wasn't great. CC Sabathia was awesome. Won a World Series, ALCS MVP. End of his contract. I think he signed like an extension, and the extension wasn't great. And then
I think he had an adjustment period where he lost the velo on his fastball, and he had to learn how to be a different pitcher with like spotting it up. And then towards the end of his career, he was effective again. But yeah, for like 2 years in that adjustment period, he was awful.
All right, let's get to some final thoughts here so we can all get on with our Saturday and meet back tomorrow morning. 11:30 in the morning game, man. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. Look, I like getting it out of the way in the morning, but I'm just like I'm not ready for my day to start working on a baseball podcast at 11:30 in the morning on Sunday. So,
well, that's 8:30 in the morning for me in Los Angeles. So
that's weird, man.
Not ideal.
I remember back in, I want to say it was '04, the Yankees opened up the season in Japan, and the games were at 4:30 in the morning, and I was watching them in my dorm room at 4:30 in the morning. It was crazy.
That's, the international games get weird. My father actually watched the Giants win the Super Bowl in the Alps in a chalet, like, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and try not to scream to, like, wake everybody up. And, like, he was telling me he was watching the game in the middle of the night.
So let's talk free agents. So Messina, he was a good free agent. Again, that was back in '03. Kuroda wasn't really like a big high-end free agent. He was more of like a Stroman type. Stroman's been good. Stroman's been solid. He's got a chance. He's only got a 2-year contract. He's got a chance to live up to the contract. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
I don't think it's a big commitment. It's okay. Rodon, it's like you're more concerned because he's on the team until Cole is on the team. Like through those 2 contracts, those are supposed to be the co-aces. So we really need him to at least sort of live up to it. I mean, maybe he won't, but just at least be very, very solid.
Yeah. Diego says 5:30 for him in Spain. It's so cool that people check into this podcast from all over the world. Reminder, we are approaching 50,000. Go ahead and like and subscribe. We're on a mission, baby. We're growing. We're adding all sorts of people. We got Terrence. We got Aiden now. We still got Frankie Baseball. So, help the channel grow, and hopefully next year will be even bigger. But TK, any final thoughts before we head into the final game of the first half?
They looked a lot better. If they can play like they did today, they'll be just fine. And I just kind of have to wait to see what they do at the deadline. The deadline's a little late this year, I feel like. But I just have to wait to see what they do, and then I'll have more of a feel and an idea of like what the rest of the season will look like, and then frankly how that'll affect the offseason as well.
Yeah, and we got the trade deadline coming up now. 18 days away, so we're coming up on it fast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, bright and early, around probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So tune in then. TK, thanks for stopping by,
Of course, man.
and we'll see everybody next time. Hey everybody, we are on a mission for 50,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the season. When we get there, we're going to give away some cool prizes. We're going to give away an official Yankees pinstripe jersey of your choice, 4 tickets to a Yankees game, plus some NYY Recaps merch. It takes 1 click and it's free. So if you watch every video, double check that you are subscribed. If you love the podcast, subscribe. Heck, even if you hate the podcast, hate me, hate the Yankees, hate my cat, who cares? Subscribe anyway so somebody can win these prizes. And we'll see you next time.
Ball game